all because his daughter had once worked as a prostitute. The great general actually drew his sword and severed the tendons in her hands and feet, intending to turn his daughter into someone who would never marry for life. Even when the crown prince rushed over to stop him, the general insisted on torturing his daughter to death. Not only that, the general even warned the crown prince that if he dared interfere again, he would immediately lead 1,000,000 soldiers to revolt. Seeing this, everyone thought the general had lost his sanity, but only the general himself knew that killing her 10,000 times would still not be too much. Just moments ago, the general had returned after 15 years at the frontier, finally coming home in triumph. The people of the capital heard the news and rushed to welcome him. Even the crown prince arrived in person after spending 15 years in war. His 4 adopted sons had all grown into adults, and his daughter too had grown into a graceful young woman. Just as the general felt deeply comforted by this, he suddenly realized in horror that something about the girl was off. The general immediately understood that the girl standing before him was not his daughter, even though she wore the clothes he had gifted his daughter and the hairpin he had given her. The general could recognize at a glance that she was not his daughter, but the girl insisted with certainty that she truly was his daughter, and the 4 adopted sons said that after more than 10 years of war, it was only natural that she looked different now, and that the general no longer recognized her. At first this explanation sounded reasonable, but hearing it made the general even angrier. He grabbed the girl by the throat and demanded to know where his real daughter was, but the adopted sons insisted she was the real daughter. The general then said his daughter had a scar on her face, yet this girl did not. Were they trying to force him to carve a scar onto her face? Hearing this, the adopted sons quickly explained that more than 10 years had passed, and even if she once had a scar, it would be normal for it to have faded by now. They thought this explanation would ease the general's suspicion, but instead he believed none of it and firmly declared that the girl was an imposter. He even placed his sword against one adopted son's neck and demanded to know where his daughter truly was. The 4 adopted sons panicked instantly to save his life. The adopted son under the sword finally confessed, saying the general's daughter had argued with them, so they sent her to a brothel. The general was struck with shock. His daughter had now been reduced to a courtesan. With no time to think, the general took 200,000 soldiers to find her. When he reached the brothel, he ordered the entire army to surround the brothel completely, then dragged the madam inside by force. After learning from the madam that his daughter was locked in the woodshed, he rushed there to find her, but to his horror, his daughter had already been beaten beyond recognition, her face completely disfigured. Yet even so, the general recognized her instantly. He knew she was his daughter. Little did they know, the general cherished his daughter above all else. Seeing her tortured like this, he immediately ordered his men to drag the madam out and execute her. Then he commanded that the entire brothel be razed to the ground. After venting his fury, the general carried his daughter in his arms and took her home for treatment. But to his surprise, as soon as he reached her bedroom door, he discovered that her room had long been taken over by the adopted daughter, and the 4 adopted sons were carefully tending to her, while bad-mouthing the general and his real daughter, even claiming they would unite and drive them out of the estate.